It is quite the wonderful thing, isn't it, when a mind finds itself drawn to two seemingly disparate passions. For a young Cynthia Rudin, growing up in the vibrant, snowy climes of Buffalo, New York, life was a beautiful composition played in two keys: mathematics and music. One offered the exquisite certainty of logic, a world of elegant proofs and structured beauty where an answer once found was undeniably true. The other, music, provided a landscape of emotional expression, of nuance and harmony that spoke to the soul. This duality wasn't a conflict. It was a harmony, a perfect counterpoint that would, rather fascinatingly, define her entire career. The discipline of music, with its scales, practice, and structural understanding, mirrored the rigor required for advanced mathematics. This early love for both the analytical and the artistic set the stage for a quite remarkable journey. While many of her peers might have chosen one path over the other, Rudin saw them as two sides of the same coin. The patterns in a Bach fugue are not so different from the patterns one might find in a complex equation. The journey from a home filled with music and equations to the hallowed halls of higher learning for a mind as curious and capable as Rudin's was an easy adjustment. Her undergraduate years were spent at the University at Buffalo, a place where she could delve deeper into the mathematical universe that had so captivated her early years. She honed her skills, not merely learning established principles, but beginning to question them, pushing at their very edges. Her academic prowess was undeniable. She graduated as a top student in the physics department. It was a clear sign of the intellectual firepower she possessed, a prelude to the formidable research career that lay ahead. But the world of undergraduate studies was just the beginning. The next logical step was graduate school, and so she made her way to Princeton University. Immersed in an environment populated by some of the most brilliant minds on the planet, Rudin pursued her PhD in applied and computational mathematics. This wasn't just about solving harder problems. It was about learning how to formulate them, how to see the mathematical underpinnings of real-world phenomena and translate them into a language that could be analyzed and solved. After the intense, theory-laden atmosphere of Princeton, Cynthia Rudin moved into the bustling, energetic heart of New York City. She took positions at New York University and later Columbia University. Her focus began to crystallize around machine learning, not just programmed rules, but systems that learn from data. A powerful promise, yet shrouded in mystique. Technological alchemy. At NYU's Courant Institute, she was surrounded by pioneers shaping data science. One we recently covered in a video, the late, great Peter Carr. Rudin applied deep math to real machine learning problems, not just predicting, but understanding the how. She noticed the black box problem. Algorithmic models that only gave answers without showing their work created a lack of transparency that felt wrong to a mathematician. At Columbia, she was a research scientist, where theory met application, working hands-on with real problems. The city became her living laboratory at the convergence of human interaction, crime, and infrastructure. The next movement in Rudin's career took her to another epicenter of technological innovation: Cambridge, Massachusetts. As a scientist at the MIT Sloan School of Management, she found herself in an environment where cutting-edge research was directly linked to business policy, real-world decision-making. It was here that her simmering concerns about the opacity of AI models truly boiled over into a full-fledged research agenda. The prevailing wisdom in the machine learning community at the time was that there was an inherent trade-off. If you wanted accuracy, you had to sacrifice interpretability. Powerful models were necessarily complex and inscrutable. Rudin simply didn't buy it. This period at MIT was where she began to formally challenge this dogma. She argued that the supposed trade-off was often a false dichotomy, a convenient excuse for not doing the harder work of creating models that were both accurate and understandable. Why, she asked, should we trust a black box algorithm to make critical decisions about someone's life, liberty, and health? The idea was repugnant to her. Her background in mathematics had taught her the value of a clear, verifiable proof, and she sought to bring that same level of rigor and transparency to the world of machine learning. This was the genesis of her focus on interpretable AI. Her work wasn't a focus on theory as much as it focused on the intensely practical application of artificial intelligence. While many of her contemporaries were chasing marginal gains in predictive accuracy by adding more and more layers of complexity, she began developing new methods and algorithms designed from the ground up to be transparent. These weren't just simple models. They were sophisticated tools capable of achieving high levels of accuracy while still allowing a human expert to look under the bonnet and understand exactly why a particular decision was made. This was absolutely revolutionary. In 2017, Cynthia Rudin moved south to Durham, North Carolina, to join Duke University. Appointed as a Gilbert, Louis, and Edward Lerman Distinguished Professor of Computer Science, where she focuses on electrical and computer engineering, statistical science, mathematics, and biostatistics and bioinformatics. This wasn't just another career move. It was the establishment of a new base of operations, a place where her grand vision for interpretable AI could really flourish and grow. At Duke, she founded and now directs the Interpretable Machine Learning Lab, a dedicated center for pushing the boundaries of transparent and trustworthy AI. It was the perfect environment to conduct her symphony of research, solidified her status as one of the world's leading authorities. With the freedom and resources of a major research university behind her, she could assemble a team of like-minded students and collaborators to tackle even bigger challenges. The move allowed her to expand her work beyond theoretical development and into widespread application, collaborating with power companies and police departments. Duke became the hub from which her revolutionary ideas would radiate outwards, influencing academia, industry, and public policy. At the Interpretable Machine Learning Lab, the mission is crystal clear: to create machine learning models that are inherently understandable to human experts. The lab's philosophy mirroring Rudin's own for high-stakes decisions, society cannot afford to rely on black box models. At the very heart of Cynthia Rudin's work lies a simple yet profound question. If an AI tells you something, shouldn't you be able to ask it why? This is the essence of the so-called black box problem. For years, the field of machine learning has been dominated by complex models. Things like deep neural networks that are astonishingly accurate at finding patterns in data. They can identify a cat in a photo or predict stock market fluctuations with uncanny accuracy. The problem is that they often can't explain their reasoning. The input data goes in, a decision comes out, and what happens in between is a tangled mess of millions of calculations, inscrutable even to the experts who designed them. Rudin found this state of affairs completely unacceptable, especially when these black box models are used for what she calls high-stakes decisions. Think about it. Would you trust a doctor who prescribes a serious medication but can't tell you why? Would you accept a prison sentence from a judge who says the computer made the decision but can't explain the rationale? Of course not. Yet this is precisely the direction in which AI was heading. Rudin's work on interpretable machine learning is a direct and powerful rebellion against this trend. It's a movement to build AI systems that show their work. Her approach is fundamentally different from that of many others in the field. While some researchers try to create post hoc explanations for black box models, essentially trying to explain the decision after it has been made, Rudin argues for creating models that are inherently interpretable from the start. Cynthia Rudin's ideas are not confined to academic theory. They are applied in the messy real world with life-saving impact. One striking example is her collaboration with power companies like Con Edison in New York City. The challenge: predict and prevent failures in a vast, aging electrical grid. A single manhole, fire, or a cable failure could lead to widespread blackouts. The company was drowning in data but lacked actionable intelligence. Rudin and her team built an interpretable machine learning model that could quickly analyze any impending doom. Not a black box risk score, but a prioritized list of manholes with the highest prioritization of failure, with clear reasoning. Recent repairs in the area, specific voltage readings, any data point that could be utilized to implement the machine learning algorithm effectively was focused on, then reduced based on dimensionality. prioritizing the variables with the most algorithmic confidence, creating an absolute game changer for electrical companies. Crews could proactively target repairs where needed most, creating a rhythm of proactivity rather than reactivity. The result: dramatic improvement in grid reliability and safety, preventing countless outages, proof that transparent models can outperform opaque ones in high-stakes settings. Her work in the justice system is perhaps even more profound. She criticizes proprietary black box courtroom risk tools like the controversial Compass score. One of Cynthia Rudin's most fascinating theoretical contributions is her work on what she calls the Rashomon Set. The name is a wonderfully clever nod to the classic 1950 Akira Kurosawa film Rashomon. In that film, a single event is described in several different yet equally plausible ways by different witnesses. In machine learning, the Rashomon set refers to the collection of different models that all have roughly the same, near optimal level of accuracy for a given dataset. The key insight: for many real-world problems, there isn't just one best model. There are often many, many good ones. This idea directly confronts the prevailing culture in machine learning that often obsesses over finding the single most accurate model. Even if the accuracy gain is a tiny fraction of a percent, Rudin argues that this obsession is misguided. If a vast Rashomon set exists full of equally accurate models, why choose a complicated, uninterpretable black box? Instead, we should deliberately search within that set for the simplest, most understandable model available. The existence of the Rashomon set gives us the freedom to prioritize other virtues like simplicity and transparency fairness without sacrificing predictive power. This paradigm shifts the entire goal of a machine learning project. The aim is no longer to just maximize accuracy at all costs. The sheer brilliance and transformative impact of Cynthia Rudin's work have not gone unnoticed. Her office shelves must surely groan under the weight of awards and accolades from the most prestigious organizations in science and technology. In 2022, she won the Squirrel AI Award for Artificial Intelligence for the Benefit of Humanity, often called the Nobel Prize of AI. The $1 million prize recognized her pioneering work on interpretable machine learning and its real-world applications. A stunning validation of her crusade against black box models, sending a clear signal that transparency and ethics are central to the future of AI. Rudin is a 3-time winner of the Inform's Innovative Applications in Analytics Award, a prize that rewards real-world impact of promoting creative combinations for providing economic or social value, or providing profound insights into innovative applications. Winning it 3 times for different projects is extraordinary in energy grid reliability, crime pattern detection, healthcare. Cynthia Rudin's story is more than the biography of a brilliant scientist. It is a call to action. It is a powerful reminder that we, as a society, have a choice in the kind of technological future we build. For too long, the narrative around artificial intelligence has been one of inevitability, of ever-increasing complexity, of inscrutable black boxes making decisions that affect our lives in profound ways. Rudin's career has been a sustained and eloquent argument against this fatalism. She has shown us that there is another path, a path where AI serves as a transparent, trustworthy tool designed to augment human intelligence, not supplant it. Her impact radiates far beyond the confines of academia. When a maintenance worker in New York City uses one of her models to prevent a blackout, her work is there. When a judge has access to a transparent risk assessment tool that can be debated in open court, her influence is felt. When a doctor uses an AI-powered diagnostic aid that explains its reasoning, allowing for better and safer patient care, her vision is realized. She has taken the abstract, often intimidating world of machine learning and connected it directly to the lives of ordinary people, demonstrating that its ultimate purpose should be to help, to clarify, and to empower the likes of humanity at any means possible. The core of her philosophy is a profound respect for human expertise and dignity, believing the people on the front lines should have the utmost support, focused on AI that absolutely empowers the pinnacle of human decision-makers rather than trying to replace them. Especially with regards to healthcare and infrastructure management, Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all things numerical and mathematical. Also, please check out the influential leadership in artificial intelligence at Duke University under the tutelage of Professor Rudin, with a link in the description below. Thanks again, and until next time. Stay calculating, my friends.